Hey friends, dividend stock investing, the way I do it, it's becoming a lost art. I want to share in the video today 3 strategies that define how I'm investing in dividend stocks right now in 2025 because I do not want this art form to be lost. Let's start out with my portfolio. As you can see on the screen in front of you right now, these are statistics of my portfolio over time. Now, my corner patrons have already seen this. I will link in the pinned comment below to my Patreon. What you see here is a comparison versus the date of 6/25/25, how I'm performing. So you can see, for example, in the top right column, my dividend income comparing 3/27/25 versus 6/25/25, it's up about 2.4%. But if we go further back in time, all the way to 7/6/23, for example, my dividend income is up 45.35%. So I include portfolio value and dividend income comparisons here, but honestly, I don't care too much about portfolio value. I'm in this game for dividend income, massive cash flow, passive income that I can use to pay my bills. Now, I have some important notes in there. In 2023, I sold 14 of my stocks. I can link to some of those videos in the pinned comment below. Those 14 stocks represented about 15% of my portfolio value. So I really like comparing my performance right now versus how it was before I sold those 14 stocks. I highlight in green the row that represents just that benchmark. You can see on 4/8/23, I am up since then, portfolio value by 10.18%, and my dividend income is up a whopping 31.32%. And that was the prior peak before I sold 14 of my stocks that represented 15% of the portfolio value. So obviously, as I have rebuilt my portfolio, I have prioritized current yield, dividend income, even above and beyond anything else, including capital appreciation. And the reason dividend income has outpaced portfolio value growth is I have redeployed money in some higher yielding stocks like ALTRIA and BTI as I rebuilt my portfolio. So the reason I am sharing this is dividend stock investing. Strategy number 1. You can write your own story with dividend stocks, just as I am. I am investing in dividend-paying companies so that they can provide massive cash flow to me that I can use to pay my bills. And that cash flow, as you can see in the prior slide, is growing steadily over time. Of course, portfolio value is as well. And of course, my story has its own ups and downs. There was a time where I had to sell some stocks, and now I have rebuilt from that over the years. And so no journey is easy. No journey is linear in fashion, but we can all write our own story with dividend stocks. And I want to share this with you. Check it out on the screen. I think this is really important to remember because I'm seeing a lot of these concepts lost in the modern world when I look at dividend investors right now in 2025. But I think this is the most important part about investing in dividend stocks. It's that incremental progress that we can all obtain quarter over quarter over quarter by reinvesting dividends in high quality companies and ETFs and also deploying net new capital. But look at it. This is your life. You can invest how you want. You don't have to compare yourself to others. These days, I think some dividend investors, it's hard to be out there in social media because, like I said, it's becoming a lost art. I don't see a lot of dividend investors these days like myself, although I do see some of them over on Blossom Social. In terms of full disclosure, I'm an affiliate of Blossom Social. It's free to sign up. Check out the pinned comment below. I would love to see you over there. It's a social media network for investors. But again, in general, on a lot of social media, I'm not seeing the dividend investors, the old school ones, as much anymore. As you can see on the screen in front of you right now, though, this is your life. You can invest how you want. It's important to remember that what others tell you online, it may not be true. It's important to compare yourself to your own personal best. Enjoy the journey, take breaks along the way, use dividends to bring a sense of wonder and excitement back to your life. As I'm on this journey, And on my corner Patreon, I report my portfolio generally on a quarterly basis, and I share percentage allocation to each position, and I benchmark how the portfolio is doing over time. I like to look at that because those increased dividends, they really bring a sense of wonder and excitement back to my life in this journey. It's not just about the destination. The journey is fun as well. And finally, with this strategy, I'm not stuck. I'm not stuck because I am building massive passive income that is growing phenomenally over time that I can use to pay my bills and have freedom from having to work a job if I don't want to, although I like working right now. And what's great is this is an opportunity to create a new you and a new life. Owning dividend stocks is like starting a business. You become the CEO of your own portfolio. So I want to share it again. I have to go back to my portfolio again. Check it out on the screen. Slow, steady, incremental progress over time. Now, of course, I believe my dividend growth will slow down over time because I'm dealing with a bigger base. And so to incrementally grow my portfolio, I'm only able to throw so much capital at it. My dividends are only able to reinvest so aggressively. And the companies I own are only able to increase the dividends so much at once. But I am working that snowball as much as I can, the dividend snowball. And you can see just my last kind of quarterly comparison, my income, dividend income was up 2.4%. If I annualize that, I'm almost getting my 10% per year. And that's really my goal at this point, is to increase my dividend income at least 10% per year. But I want to try for even more because I'm trying to reach my full financial goals by the time I reach 50 years of age. But really the story here is this is the journey. The dividend income, slow and steady, it's up over time, even with that setback in 2023. And look, it wasn't really a setback. I took the money to place in a real estate transaction back then. And was that really a step back? It was in terms of my dividend cash flow, that's for sure. But in life, it's all good. I want to keep going. I have another lesson that I want to share with you. Check it out on the screen. I'm going to start the numbers again. I'm going to start with the slide of interest. And this one looks at ALTRIA. Now, ALTRIA is a company that just increased their dividend by another 3.9%. And so that was awesome to see. But let's just look at this thing, ALTRIA. In 2009, I brought my first tranche, and that was at $15.99. And now it's at $67.67. So I'm up 323% on that tranche. And my simple yield on cost on that tranche, not including reinvested dividends, is a whopping 26.5%. Put in other words, for every $100 I invested back then in 2009, I'm yielding $26.50 per year on that 100 investment. And so that's phenomenal. But let's fast forward to 2023 when ALTRIA was on sale. It was on sale at $40.19. I made one of the largest trades of my life. Because of this trade, ALTRIA is quickly on its way to becoming the number one position in my portfolio. But with the current price per share of $67.67, I'm already up 68% unrealized capital appreciation on that tranche. And my simple yield on cost for that tranche is a staggering 10.5%. Also worth noting, I went very heavy in BTI, British American, in 2023 and 2024, and I've had similar results on BTI. And so what I want to share with all of you today is the game we are playing. And this is a huge mistake that I see in the investing community right now. It is won over decades, not years. The reason I am winning in this stock, ALTRIA, which has had its ups and downs, and I'm not reinvesting now. I think the stock price has gone up a lot. It's very fairly valued now, although I don't think it's overvalued. But anyway, it goes up, it goes down. There's been a lot of setbacks over time. There have been many times, including when I went really big in 2023. I made one of the largest trades of my life. There were doubters, there were skeptics. The stock had its ups and downs, but because I stayed true to the stock over the decades, I did my research, I did my due diligence, I bought it when it was on sale, I had the conviction and the grit and the determination to stick with this over the decades, I have been rewarded handsomely. And so there is no quick win with dividend stock investing the way I do it. This is a long-term strategy. As you can see on the screen in front of you right now, let's talk about this a little more, because I think a lot of people are getting this wrong. In the first example, I think a lot of people have kind of missed the fact that there's a lot of wonder and excitement in this journey, and it's a journey of incremental wins. In the second lesson, I think a lot of people have forgotten that this game, it's won over the decades, not years. It requires dedication, determination, grit. You need to separate yourself from the stock price, connect yourself with the dividend. Income investors should rejoice when stock prices fall. Income investors need to be extremely patient, like I've been over the years. Are you really a dividend income investor? If not, that's totally okay. There's so many great strategies. It's important to zoom out, to diversify, and to live your life while the dividend portfolio is doing its thing. And the example that I just shared, so many people told me that my holdings in these so-called sin stocks, they're risky. They cite the fact that the stocks have struggled in share price. However, when I zoom out, the stocks have done really well. I cannot overstate this. Stocks do not increase in value in a linear fashion. They have their ups and downs. Business fundamentals will have setbacks over time if the investor holds long enough. It's so important to be patient. And I see in the landscape these days that a lot of people, they don't want to put in the years of waiting. They don't want to wait the decades for the compounding, the dividend snowball to work. They get worried or scared or even sell a fundamentally great stock at the first sign of trouble. It's so important to have the patience. And I want to share also, as you can see on the screen, just another example. There's example number 2 on the screen, and this one is Microsoft. So Microsoft, you may remember back in the day, it went nowhere from late 99 through late 2016. So we had 17 years of Microsoft doing nothing. Imagine if you owned Microsoft during that time and you sold and you were looking back today in 2025, oh my gosh, that would feel awful. Now, I don't own Microsoft. And of course, maybe it would feel awful, but everything is a learning lesson. We go through these challenges for a reason. We've all made great decisions and also setbacks when we've invested. So of course, look, don't get too down on yourself either if that was you. But the reason I bring that up is right now, 2025, I'm getting some comments in my videos. Ian, what are you doing about StarBucks? Do you still own it? Other than the occasional stock sale and the 13 that I sold, or 14 that I sold back in 2023, it's very rare I sell stocks. So Starbucks, it's still one of my largest positions. I'm not reinvesting my dividends right now. I'm selectively reinvesting them elsewhere, oftentimes in SCHD, just because the stock, it's kind of expensive now when I look at the stock versus the fundamentals of Starbucks, but I'm still long. I haven't sold any shares. I'm bullish on the company. And my perspective is that if it takes another 5 years, 10 years, 15 years for this company to kind of get back into growth mode, I'm fine with that. I can wait it out. And this is the difference between me, kind of old school OG dividend investor, versus what I see these days with a lot of people who are in the dividend community is, I'm just going to wait it out. I'm going to outlast. I'm going to be the last one holding on to these great companies. I don't mind. I'm going to give Starbucks all the time it takes to turn things around, because I know that how many of you watching right now have worked at a company? You've probably seen it if you've worked at a company before, like a real company. There's ups and downs. There can be layoffs. There can be bad years. There can be years where there's no bonus. There can be a year where there's a lot of bonus. There can be great years. It's not linear. It takes a lot of effort and time for companies to grow. And I realized with Starbucks, their top line is pretty good right now. The bottom line, the net income, has suffered as they invest in this turnaround plan. I'm going to give them the time they need. And so I have the patience. And that patience, as you saw in the example of ALTRIA, worked out really well for me. And the patience, honestly, it's part of that journey. It's part of the wonder. It's part of just kind of having the faith as I go along this journey of dividend investing. But I want to share the third lesson today, kind of the lost art of dividend investing, the third lesson today. Check it out on the screen in front of you right now. So the third one that I want to share is all about don't listen to others. Be bold. And so I want to first maybe start, I guess, with another example. You can see those at the bottom of the screen. SCHD. Look, SCHD, I'm actively accumulating it right now. I'm being bold. I am being greedy when others are fearful. Yeah, it's gone up a little, but nowhere near how much people wanted it to be. And this is what confuses me so much about dividend investors these days. I don't care about capital appreciation. When I see stock prices go up, I get upset. When I see stock prices go down, I rejoice. I am excited. And so I don't see that mentality as much these days, and that's why I'm sharing my lost art of what I do day in and day out. Nonetheless, SCHD, it's kind of been flat. Maybe it's gone up a little. I see a lot of dividend investors upset at this. They're upset. But the fact of the matter is, I'm a pure play dividend investor. I invest in that thing for its starting yield and for the dividend growth. The starting yield is about 3.8%. Now it's a little less than that. The growth is generally about 10% dividend growth per year over time, as seen over the last 5 years. Maybe that will slow. I'm happy with anything over 7. That's why I invest. If the stock price goes up or the ETF price goes up, it hurts me. I hate it. I hate to see it. But so many people right now are critiquing SCHD. They're saying, hey, this was hot for a while. Now it's no good anymore. They're saying the reconstitution this year was no good because it picked a lot of energy stocks. How do we know that? We're not even 1 year into this. Look, with ALTRIA, perfect example, this thing had its ups and downs. It took many years for it to get where it's at. But on my first tranche, I'm yielding 26.5% now. And on the tranche I bought just a few years ago, 10.5%. That doesn't even include reinvesting dividends. It just takes time. And so who are we to say that the reconstitution was right or wrong? The algorithm is doing the thing. Let's see what happens over time. Maybe when it reconstitutes again this next cycle, maybe it'll go heavy on energy again. Maybe it won't. It has an algorithm that I have faith in. The reason I invest in SCHD is there is not a human making judgments here. This is an algorithm making decisions based on specific criteria, and it's worked well in the past for not only starting yield, but dividend growth and also capital appreciation over time. But when I see this thing kind of going sideways, I get so excited because I hate buying stocks that are going up in value. It just pains me. And so I like to be bold when others are being fearful. As you can see on the screen, let's just dig into this concept a little bit more in the lost art of dividend investing. And so I go down kind of this list of thoughts at the top. There's just a lot of skeptics. Only you know what's right for you. There's a lot of negative people. Stay away from it. You are who you surround yourself with. Be careful about the words you listen to. Be careful about the words you say. So many people are talking down these days about dividend investing. But do you hear a lot of dividend investors talking down about other strategies? I don't hear that a lot. I love the other strategies. I've tried a lot of them. I can say I'm not good at many of the other strategies. The strategy that I'm good at is dividends, but I respect investors who are traders, who do all the different growth stocks, all the different strategies, options. And by the way, I'm not that well versed with option strategies, but I know someone who is, my friend Adrian. I'm actually going to be speaking alongside Adrian in Toronto at the Blossom Investor Tour. I can't wait. This is in September. It is not too late. If you don't have your ticket yet, check out the pinned comment below. I have a link to the Investor Tour. I have my 15% off discount code, and you can meet me there. You can meet Adrian. I'm going to be presenting about the type of stuff I'm talking about now. Classic, OG, old school, lost art of dividend investing style strategies. And my friend Adrian, who knows so much about options strategies, he's going to be speaking how he drives passive income from options. It's a perfect match because we cover two different ways of investing for passive income. But the meta level point here is I have so much love and respect for all of the different strategies. And so if you're out there and there's some negativity against what you're doing, whether it's dividend investing, options, or something else, don't listen to it. Just don't. All the strategies are good if you know enough about it and you learn and you build your skill set. But anyway, Blossom Investor Tour, Toronto. Oh my gosh, it's going to be at Rogers Centre where the Toronto Blue Jays play, home of the Toronto Blue Jays. Check out the pinned comment with my discount code. I can't wait to meet you there. I'm going to be at Blossom Investor Tour Chicago as well. So I'll talk more about that one in the next video. But you can learn more about that in the pinned comment. Anyway, let's go. As you can see on the screen in front of you right now, I want to keep going. So typically, when I hear a lot of people telling me, Ian, no, that's kind of like something you don't want to do. That's not the right thing. Honestly, that's the thing I want to learn more about. If people are telling me it's no good, it probably is good for me. I question everything. This is your journey again. You're the CEO of your portfolio. You make the calls, not others. Understand your own risk tolerance. I do what I do. I take the OG strategy with dividend stocks like I'm presenting today because I know my risk tolerance. It works for me. I perform extensive analysis and then I'm bold. I'm a contrarian. I wait for value. I have the determination and the grit to stay strong. If this were easy, everyone would do it. I want to share a few more examples with all of you. You can see on the bottom of the screen right now. Another example is I've done some videos recently on Pfizer and the Campbell's company. I'll link to those in the pinned comments below. I got some skepticism on those videos, and that's all good. I appreciate the contrarians and the skeptics and different viewpoints. It keeps me on my game, but it brings joy to my heart when I see some negativity pour in on my selections because I have conviction in my analysis, I'm bold, and when I see the negativity, it kind of tells me I'm doing something right. Another example, so I can be bold in different ways. I was bold when I sold those 14 stocks back in 2023. Some literally lost it over my 3M sale. That was interesting. I'm the CEO of my portfolio. Now, I have nothing against 3M. I love that stock. But as I rebuilt my portfolio, I just saw value elsewhere. I found it in ALTRIA. Another example of being bold, the no trade trade. I want to stop with this one today because this is a fun one. These days, I'm not seeing as much value in the market, so I make a no trade trade. I want to feel like I'm doing something. I want a dollar cost average into my portfolio. What I end up doing is just transfer money into the brokerage and let it sit and accumulate interest. At least that simple act, instead of making a trade, but at least transferring money in, it feels like I'm doing something. It's a trade, but it's a no trade trade. The money can just build up until there's a correction. And when there's a correction, I can go big. So I find different ways to be bold. I find different ways to kind of go against the grain and invest in my own unique way. But that's the lost art of dividend investing here in 2025. Put in the comments below, does any of this resonate with you? Are you out there like me and you're kind of seeing things change? You're seeing some of this lost art form kind of get lost even more and more over time? I hope not. I love this stuff. It just is so much fun for me, and it has worked. It's worked really well in my personal situation. And so also, if you enjoyed the video today, please click the like button. It means the world to me. And don't forget to check out the pinned comment below. I really hope to see you, meet you in person, grab a photo at Blossom Investor Tour Toronto or Chicago, or both. And Adrian's going to be there too, talking about options alongside me. That's going to be so much fun at the Toronto event. Before I go, in terms of full disclosure, I own the stocks mentioned today. In terms of full disclosure, I am long Pfizer, ticker PFE, the Campbell's companies, ticker CPB. I am long StarBucks, SBUX. I'm long Altria, MO. I'm long British American, ticker BTI. I'm also long SCHD ETF. In terms of a friendly disclaimer, today's video, it's not investment advice. I'm not a licensed investment advisor. I'm just sharing my journey here on YouTube for fun and entertainment. It's possible to lose money in the stock market. Please consult your licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions. Again, I just share my journey for fun and entertainment. I love you all. I can't wait to see you in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next dividend stock investing video.